Hey guys, Crypto Mike here with the mic check. 1212, is this thing on? If you enjoy my content, please hit the thumbs ups, the subscribe, and the notification bell, and you will always get notified of my live streams and my newest videos, and you will always be informed on the crazy stuff that no one else wants to talk about. Alright? But I don't think it's that crazy. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about Gesara. Alright? These are things that have to do with the global currency reset, and these are things that have to do with what Trump is doing in the office, okay? The secret reasons he's in the office, okay? A lot of people don't talk about this stuff. This is a completely, totally different perspective on what's happening, and this very well could be happening. I want you to check it out. I want you to go into this video with an open mind. Okay, and I also want you to let me know in the comments section what you think, if you have any information that could help anyone else in this community, if you could help us put together the pieces. Look, things are not what they seem, okay? They put on the television, they put on the television programs what they want us to be programmed with, okay? What they want us to think, okay? They're not going to tell us what's really going on in the background. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, right here, okay, what's really going on in the background. And I do believe a lot of this. I don't know exactly how much of it is true, to what extent. That's why I need you to tell me in the comment section if you know any information. Let me know. Let me know. And also hit the thumbs ups if you enjoy this. And if you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. If you think it's a bunch of BS, hit the thumbs down. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I want you to speak up and speak your voice. I want to know what you have to think, what you think about this. All right, guys. Now, this is going to be a very interesting video. Stick around. Now, I'm going to explain very briefly what Nesara is. This is a very brief little description of it, and then I'm going to go into an article explaining it, and this is going to open your eyes, guys. A lot of it is going to make a lot of sense, and you are going to think differently about the world after you hear this. All right, so this is a brief introduction to Gesara. A law was passed in March 2000 and signed into law in October of 2000. This law was called Gesara, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. This law provides the following. It provides forgiveness. It forgives credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. We saw Chase. We saw Chase a few months ago forgive all Canadians' debt. Okay, I believe that's the start of it, and I don't know how fast it's all going to happen, but I do believe that was the start of it. We're going to see a lot of things happen in 2020. It's going to be a very interesting year, guys. Very interesting year. Now, it also abolishes income tax. It abolishes the IRS. Creates flat rate, non-essential, new items only sales tax revenue for the government. And I believe that's a 17% sales tax. Increases benefits to senior citizens, returns constitutional law, establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after Nesara's announcement, which we haven't had the announcement yet. It monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities or special interest groups. Well, I could tell you one thing that's going to help with that: blockchain. It creates new U.S. Treasury currency, in quotes, rainbow currency, backed by gold, silver, and platinum precious metals. Okay? This is coming very soon. Returns constitutional law to our courts and legal matters. And it initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. It eliminates the Federal Reserve System. That's what Trump is actively doing, you guys. It restores financial privacy. It retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. Ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide. Establishes peace throughout the world. Okay? It's not far-fetched to think that we could have peace. We could actually have peace in the world. It's not that far-fetched, okay, guys? Things are shifting very easily, very tremendously, very swiftly. And with the advent of the internet, okay, internet has not been able to, the dark forces of the world have not been able to keep their secrets anymore. And they've not been able to keep control over small groups of people all around the world anymore. We're able to unite and share information, okay? They can't stop it, okay? The internet was created for the military to pass secret messages, okay? But it's been widespread by us, us just humans. We've helped spread it around. Now it's a big thing in our lives, internet. And the share and the transfer of information. This is the information age. There's nothing they can do to stop it anymore. Okay, that's why everything is changing so quickly. It initiates first phase of worldwide prosperity distribution of vast wealth, which has been accumulating for many decades. Okay, there's a lot more money out there than they tell us about, guys. Releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. Enables the release of new technologies, such as alternative energy devices. Okay, well, why do you think we're hearing more and more about Project Looking Glass? Check it out. I'll probably do a video on it, okay? They've been hiding a lot of technology from us that could have saved us all sorts of money. It could have given us free energy. It could have cured cancer, They have technology that desalinates salt water, ocean water. Okay, we don't have water problems. We don't have water problems. Okay, we don't have cancer problems. All right. The thing is, they make it this way. They've made it this way. Things are changing very quickly, guys. Now, check out this article. This is on inteldenarchronicles.blogspot.com. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. It's very interesting. You guys stick around for this. This is great. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Now, the initial, Bretton Woods. Now, I did a video and where Christine Lagarde mentioned Bretton Woods. All right, let me explain this. Bretton Woods, the initial global economic transition, was scheduled on the morning of September 11th, 2001. After the Western banking system developed after World War II at the Bretton Woods Conference of 1944, mathematically collapsed due to sovereign law governing international usury thresholds. Now, this is in regards to BRICS, a growing Eastern World Alliance led by China, which is now called the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. By the way, this article was written in 2018, okay, before any of us have ever heard of BRICS, okay? So let me read that again. A growing Eastern World Alliance led by China, which is now called the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, was prepared to receive control of the defunct financial system and gradually require a new financial system to be 100% transparent, quantum, digital, and hard asset backed. Sounds like everything's falling into place. Versus the old fiat money, relationship-based, currency, papered system. Very old, powerful, and hidden banking families in Europe, as well as their cabal subsidiaries in the United States, refused to turn over the world's central printing presses, the Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, European Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve. And their rebellion became publicly witnessed as the horrific 9/11 attacks. 9/11 attacks. You don't think Trump knows about this? You don't think there's going to be a disclosure about this? This global currency reset is becoming more and more a reality. All right, guys. This began a 17-year war for control of the world's financial system, which is now concluded as of September 2018 after a 10-year bank. And now he's saying that it's ready to go. This is back in 2018. Now, it didn't go yet. Who knows? Maybe things just weren't ready. Maybe it's been pushed back a year. Maybe it's been pushed back 2 years. I don't know. Okay, but let's keep going. This began a 17-year war for control of the world's financial system, which has now concluded as of September 2018 after a 10-year banking, military, government, media, and diplomacy reversal strategy to permanently eliminate Western dominance. What do you think's happening right now? Okay? All China, Russia, the world's countries are slowly but surely falling off and getting away from the US dollar, getting away from the US dollar as being our world reserve currency. They don't want that anymore. You know, they want control of their things are shifting quickly. The United States is still very powerful, okay, but things are shifting very quickly. All right? And that might be a great thing, guys. Let's keep going. After a 10-year banking, military, government, media, and diplomacy reversal strategy to permanently eliminate Western dominance, which began with very old, powerful, and largely hidden Chinese families, margin calling Lehman Brothers Investment Bank on September 1st, 2008. The Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy on September 15th, 2008. And those same old Chinese families threatened to do that to every American and European bank unless surrender terms were negotiated. The quantum financial system. As a result of fully negotiated surrender terms taking effect in December 24th, 2013, when the Federal Reserve Bank's 99-year charter to print American government money for 3% interest paid in gold, a new cloud-based financial system is developed using a redundancy of quantum speed processing satellites and advanced AI blockchain software algorithm that not only create perfect economic transparency, but does so on every transaction worldwide and in mere seconds. What does that explain? Sounds like they're explaining Ripple and possibly XRP, guys. The QFS, Quantum Financial System, also has the ability to identify each transaction and directly link it back to a hard, physically vaulted or stored asset. Gold, diamonds, platinum, petrol, rare earth elements, etc. Maybe cobalt, which in turn permanently eliminates the concept of fractional reserve lending, i.e. fiat money. The QFS also incorporates, I think he spelled that wrong. Okay, he did that wrong. QFS also incorporates protective encryption technology that prevents hacking and fraud, which by design eliminates nefarious criminal activities such as paper or digital money laundering, narcotics, human trafficking, and weapons trading within the banking system. This due to 100% pure digital nature of QFS, as it basically shuts down all criminal papered and digital currency crimes against society, as they will not longer be recognized as having any collateral by which to guarantee their transactions. And while paper currencies will remain in existence for a short period as third world populations adjust to all digital transactions, and some new national currencies printed and released, as the US dollar was in April 2013, ultimately illegal and immoral economic activity can and will be eliminated. Gesara. Now, due to a fancy new financial system replacing the outdated old one, which has already occurred less any public knowledge as not to disturb or upset the masses and markets, every sovereign nation has had to go through a strict compliance and auditing phase, whereby each nation was accurately evaluated on what true raw natural assets were being held in reserve, mined and unmined, as well as the depth of corruption that was existent in all branches of government, military, diplomacy, media, and finance required to reform before being allowed to participate on the quantum financial system. You guys, this sounds very real to me. I don't care. A lot of people are gonna tell me, you're full of crap. I don't care. I don't care what you say. This sounds like exactly like what's happening, guys. Now, down to the fine details, I'm not sure. But when you take a step back and look at this, everything we see in the news, everything we see on YouTube that we've been uncovering, it all falls into place with this. All right, since October 5th, 2014, when the Paris Climate Accord Agreement was first signed, later to be put into force on November 4th, 2015, this process has been unwinding before our very eyes. The reason is that another treaty was also secretly signed during the 2014 Paris Agreement, but hidden from public view. It was called the Global Economic Stabilization and Reformation Act, okay, aka Gesara. Economic Stabilization and Reformation Act. All 209 sovereign nations, including Palestine, which has already been recognized as a sovereign nation, signed Gesara during the Paris Agreement meetings, and thus began a 3-year implementation process, whereby every nation in good standing with Gesara compliance was deemed a harmonized member of quantum financial system and allowed to value their national currency equally against a common gold standard, which is now being settled in Shanghai versus London, circa 2015. Making all global currencies now based off the true value of gold. No price fixing anymore by those European families, as well as factoring in 40 other critical economic minerals, plus petrol and liquefied natural gas reserves, LNG. Thus, every nation's national currency has been audited, agreed to per an international treaty, and received a fair market value as it relates to gold. This is why you're seeing wild swings in currency markets globally, including in Europe, UK, and the Americas. They're simply revaluing up and down against the international benchmark of gold. These new gold equivalent rates are being made public knowledge this September. Now, like I said, this was back in 2018. He wrote this. Okay, I think it's been pushed back. I think something happened. Things happen. I don't know. This is a big deal. Now they're telling us about Brics. Okay, now I think this happened. I think the whole reset has actually been pushed back a year. So by the end of this year or beginning of next year, maybe that's when it'll all come to light. These new gold equivalent rates are being made public knowledge this September in all banks, and very soon to be known with the public and professional FX traders worldwide. However, the manner by which the Brics controller of the quantum financial system are choosing to inform the public is still very much a mystery, as they do so very patiently in a highly subdued and almost invisible manner, as to keep the public calm and ease any fears such a massive global economic transition might upset mass consciousness. Donald Trump. The net effect and sheer scope of such a radical transaction of change is why you probably have not heard much about the revaluation and Gesara, but have seen many news stories and current events that have left you scratching your head trying to make sense, including Donald Trump, who is well aware of both and was inserted as U.S. president, temporarily to be removed shortly after January 20th, 2019. This would explain all the impeachment, So, Trump has been used as an agenda implementing operative by the Brics Alliance to assist in America's necessary Gesara reforms, which by definition was going to cause an enormous amount of turbulence given the enormous damage American banking, Fed, USD, military, government, clandestine agencies, and diplomatic sabotage have caused in geopolitical circles since the end of World War II. Trump's Brics mandate, therefore, is to be a global distraction while all the structural changes are made, as well as to publicly humiliate, pressure non-complying nations to fall in line with Gesara guidelines. And he's doing a great job, as he is calling out all late reforming nations, including Israel, Palestine, Iran, Canada, Mexico, China, Europe, Union nations, Africa, This means a historically terrible person, okay, and this is their opinion, a historically terrible person like Donald Trump is actually serving a benevolent end by intentionally playing the global villain, which will ultimately create a logical reason why all of these unknown and unprecedented Gesara compliance elements occurred. When he's gone, after all the required changes have been made globally, the world will have someone to point to as the reason for their suffering. And cheer when he's removed from office. That's why it's best to think of Donald Trump as an emergency bankruptcy manager obsessed with social media, okay, versus a legitimate politician. Well, he ain't no politician. We know that, right? He's not a politician. That's why we voted him in, because we were tired of politicians, even though it probably wasn't us who really voted him in. I've already known that, Because when he's legally replaced sometime after January 20th, 2019, by either impeachment or resignation, some combination of Mike Pence or Paul Ryan will calmly reset the country and begin the healing process. I mean, who knows? Maybe he will be impeached. Note, January 20th, 2019 constitutionally qualifies the Trump administration as a full presidential term, thus allowing someone like Paul Ryan to run in both 2020 and 2024, who, for your added information, is the Brics Alliance choice to be the next American president in a post-Gesara compliant world. And thus why he was artificially made Speaker of the House back in October 2015 and has proceeded to pass over 450 bills in the House of Representatives, all of which satisfy Gesara compliance mandates. This makes a lot of sense to me, guys. Collateral. Because every national currency is being revalued, simultaneously it would appear several fiscal arbitrages have been created by which those who were unaware or were made aware by the grace of a gift of love can now benefit from. If you hold a revaluing currency, congratulations. Your time has arrived to convert your asset for fair drop value. Fair and true asset value in relationship to an accurate spot price of gold, which has a declining value now because gold is far more abundant than those old European families lead the world to believe. Historically speaking, only 190,000 metric tons of gold bullion has been reported to exist in central banks around the world, when the actual mined number is estimated to be 10 times more, or 1,900,000 metric tons. And this doesn't include the other 39 economic minerals that are now factored into how national raw asset reserves are measured. Gold is just the most well-known and consistent store of value, as not all countries hold as much gold in reserve as, say, Zimbabwe, Vietnam, or Indonesia. But the rocks do have value as it relates to manufacturing or other value-created materials. Know that the 53 nations making up the African Union have the most economic minerals of any continent. I wonder why Cardano, ADA, I wonder why they're focusing on Africa. Even Apollo, the privacy coin. Know that the 53 nations making up the African Union have the most economic minerals of any continent by a wide margin, and have placed their national raw assets up collectively to become global collateral for the new quantum financial system, which demands 100% asset-backed transactions per Gesara's financial mandate. China is handling quantum financial systems, operational and money supply oversight duties, with Russia now assuming the mantle as the world's sovereign policeman. Makes sense. Western worlds like the US, Canada, UK, Israel, 28 European nations are equal players, not shut out, but greatly reduced in global affairs due to centuries of bad behavior. That makes a lot of sense too, guys. Everything's shifting. Remember that cover? Real quick. I'll show you that cover of The Economist that they put out in 2019? The Economist cover 2019. I'm going to show you the cover, and it should come up. Check it out right here. Okay, this is the cover of The Economist 2019. All right, the world in 2019. This is Rothschild's owned. Okay, now they're talking about Leonardo da Vinci 500 years on. Well, he invented a lot of things, and some people think he had help from other dimensional beings or extraterrestrials. Okay, now look at this. Trump is going to be sized up. What is that? I don't know what that is, but Trump is facing China and Russia. Okay, Putin, the panda, China. All right. And basically it's Trump against them. So, and also the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now, the biblical, prophecy, maybe this is what it is. Maybe the biblical prophecy was the global currency reset and the world reset. Okay? Now, stork with a baby, but the baby has a barcode on it, that's probably significant, because probably means the RFID chips, to where they will track us every movement we make. Like people in Switzerland are actually celebrating doing it. They're having parties. It's like a Botox party, but they inject these little things, these RFID chips, into their hand willingly, happily. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. That's the mark of the beast. Okay. Marijuana is becoming globally legalized. Not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. The scales, justice will be served. I think the scales will be balanced. We will see more balance in the world. And he's talking about here, mostly he's talking about China. The Eastern countries are going to be more in power than the Western countries have been for centuries. And that makes a lot of sense. We see so many changes coming. That's a huge change. Now, the DNA on his arm, DNA upgrade, the Me Too movement, celebrating the rise of femininity and the power, the balance of femininity and masculinity, right? Things are changing quickly, okay? The electric car, virtual reality headset, maybe suggesting something about, simulation theory. I think that's a true theory, simulation theory. Now let's go back to the article. Hence why a new financial system had to be created and the old system eliminated, as the world is very diverse and needed a common, updated, and moral revaluation that requires a truthful 100% reserve compliance versus the corrupted 400-year-old Western world system that issued random credits to long-standing powers at a small fraction of known hard asset reserves. Hey, if banks can demand appropriate hard asset collateral before making us a loan, why can't the rest of humanity demand the same? And that's why the information age is important. That's why the Brics Alliance has done for humanity. That's what the Brics Alliance has done for humanity. Simply demand and execute a fully transparent monetary system that had common compliance and collateral requirements so that all nations and peoples of the world could operate on a fair and level economic playing field. There you go. He even stated it before this was a big phrase, okay? Now that adds legitimacy to this whole article, guys. This is very smart. What he's saying here makes complete sense. Try to, tell me in the comment section if you really think this is BS. That's fine. But the people who are like, oh, you're stupid. You know what? You're starting to sound stupid. You're starting to sound more stupid every day. Every day. Open your mind, expand your brain, expand your mind, and realize this is a reality. We're seeing it left and right in the news. Okay? And it's only a snowball. It's a snowball effect. It's only going to get bigger. So before you chastise people and ridicule people for believing something like this, Open your mind and take a look at what's happening in the world on the news. They're starting to actually tell us on the news now. Okay, all this stuff. Bank appointments. Banks must begin intaking revaluing currencies after Labor Day the world over. This means you will need to schedule an appointment once the revaluation contact information is released. Feel free to call your bank when you receive this information and set an appointment that is convenient for you, as all revalued national currencies must now be honored per international law. In terms of value, whatever the audited gold screen rate of any nation's collateral is exactly what it is worth on a new system. No drama. You may see the screen rate if you request to do so. It is your legal right. You may also select your bank and exchange your revaluing currencies per your own preference. However, if you hold Zimbabwe currency, know that you will be processed through HSBC exclusively due to its massive face values printed in 2008-2009. So if you hold that particular currency, be assured knowing that it was signed into law as redeemable in the US on 8/8 by Donald Trump as part of the 2001 Gesara Amendment and has now been issued internationally as of Friday, August 30th. That was in 2018. Great Zimbabwe is historically known as being the wealth behind King Solomon's mines, and thus has hidden their mineral reserves to now collateralize all global digital credits on the new Chinese quantum financial system. They just have not made this information public, but Zimbabwe is well known in sovereign banking circles as being the leader for all of Africa, Black Panther, and thus can mathematically cover any digital credits placed on the financial system via our redemptions on their audited mineral reserves alone. At your redemption appointment, you may reinvest all or some of your new cash deposits, or you may wait. After all, it is your wealth. However, know that if you may want to make investment at that time, as most are unfamiliar with managing large sums of principal, and your life experience might be much more enjoyable allowing the bank that redeems your currency to also invest it for you, less an investment learning curve education. Know that the banks are expecting many to take a lesser amount if the initial amount offered is too high. Yes, you read that right. Many to most will take less. That's how uneven the global wealth playing field became. Level the playing field. This is so exciting, guys. Hit the thumbs up for this. I'm so excited. This is making so much sense. There's nothing wrong or immoral in taking less. In fact, it might just be the smartest move you've ever made. However, it is important to know you may also negotiate for more than the screen rate depending on the intaking bank's threshold for negotiation terms. Larger banks are expected to have more flexibility in this way because of their size and scope. That's just standard banking. However, once you redeem, wherever you redeem, you are required by law not to discuss the terms of your transaction, nor use any digital form of communication depicting what happened in your redemption meeting, which includes texts, social media posts, voicemails, and emails. But honestly, why would you say anything? Silence is both golden and the safest play for your family you can make post-redemption appointment. Basically, don't tell people how much you own, Anticipate your redemption appointment to last less than an hour. There will be international local coverage and 100-mile domestic coverage per postal and zip code. Know that your transaction is perfectly legal the world over per both domestic and international law, and your principal will be protected under the long-term mandate of the before-mentioned Gesara Treaty. Folks, I realize this may be a shocking reality to have to deal with on short notice, but it is what it is. And what is really happening is that common sense is returning to our financial system. Yes, mercifully ending an endless cycle of suffering caused by monetary madness via a deeply disruptive and chaotic bridge known as Donald Trump, all to benevolently assist humanity in its transition from the hell that is living from the bottom up with perpetual fear and scarcity to a divine top-down philanthropy consciousness requiring the acceptance of love, abundance, and heaven grace. So be it. Be it so. So it begins, guys. May your life be blessed with many breakthrough victories and endless peaceful interactions. Thank you for your past, present, and future service. God is with us. This was written by Tara Zetz, all right, back in September of last year, 2018. All right, guys. Interesting, huh? Good stuff. If you enjoy my content, please hit the thumbs ups and make sure you subscribe, guys. Okay? And also download the Brave browser. I got the link in the description. Okay? You can earn free BAT. It's very simple. Download it, earn free BAT, basic attention token. Easy. All right, guys. Love you guys. Be good people and hodl strong. Crypto Mike out. Peace.